in front of the camera, and Maggie's lurking in the rear somewhere. There we go. So today I'm going to show you how to do a Calla Lily. All right, so we'll do this by, and we've got a new Calla Lily kit which has just come out. It's on the website. It's also going to be a hobby maker for a little while, starting from Tuesday for 2 weeks. So in the kit you get wire, you get some coloured sand, you get glue, you get cocktail sticks, you get a little foam. It's a smaller band, but you get small little foam pads, and you get leaves cut out, which are the sword leaves, our large ones, sword leaves, and then you get some petal shapes. And these are, let's do it on this one. You can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. So this is our smooth petal. Okay, so I'm going to make them out with our smooth petal. So you need a smooth petal. So to start with, you need your calyx, so your stamen. So you need to do your stamen. So cut out a length of wire, which I think you can see. There you go. Cut out a length of wire, and then you're going to put a tiny bit of glue on the end. So you want it. So you want a piece of glue like, oops, well, okay, about that much. Okay, and then you're going to dip that into the sand. So it covers the sand. Put the top on the sand, otherwise you lose it. Okay, and then you end up with that. There we go, you can see better now. Okay, and then you're going to leave that to dry. So you need to do that. You want to just shape it gently. You leave that to dry, and you end up with one like that, which is dry. Okay, then you need to get a petal. So you need to snip out a petal. So you don't need the you don't need a little piercing hole. You just need to snip it at the base. So it looks like that. Okay, and then you're going to put it on your foam pad, and you're going to shape it. So you're going to shape it. So you're going to dish it that way, and then you can turn it over, and then you could do the outside edge. So I'll just do one way. I'll just do. So what you're doing, you're stretching the fibres, and you're going to end up with. It also helps close the little piercing hole because you don't actually need that. So you end up with a little dishy thing like that. Okay, and then you're going to turn it over. Okay, and then on the opposite side of the hole, you're going to do it the other way around. So you're just going to do it like that. Okay, and then press it like that. So you end up with a shape. It's very difficult to show on here. A shape that looks like that. Let's do it with these. Oops. So you've got this shape, then it goes on the other side. So what you've done, you've stretched all the fibres. So then you're going to put a tiny bit of glue. Just where the little piercing hole is, tiny bit of glue. There, you don't want to go too far up. Okay, no further than that. Okay, and then you're going to put your stamen on like that. Okay, so you can lay it on so it looks like that. Okay, there are full instructions in the kit. If you haven't got the kit and just got the dies, and obviously you'll be doing this, and then you're going to get your tweezers, and you do need tweezers for this, and you're just going to pull it over like that. Okay, and then we're going to put it over like that, so you can see. And then we're going to put a tiny bit of glue just there and put the other one across. So I'm just going to put that tiny bit of glue over. There, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to move that, and then that pulls across like that. So you end up with a little crossover like, that. Okay. And you let that dry a few minutes, and then with your tweezers, right, with your tweezers, you can bend back that edge on both sides. Oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, can you? That edge on that side, so just pull that there like that, and then that one round like that, and just smooth it out, and that is your lily shape. So it's quite a simple shape, and then just bend that one back. So this probably could have been dried a bit longer. Just pinch that in, and that would be your lily shape. So I'll do another one in white. You can, if you wanted to, you can colour that in either now or before you start. So I've got the white one. So sometimes in the kits they come separate, so you just separate them out, cut another one out. So I'm doing exactly the same as I did before. So snip that, and I'm going to dish it that way. I'll turn it over, and I'm going to do just the edge of the petal. Okay, so that's ready to go. And then I'm going to get my little stamen that I did earlier, which is that one. I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue just where the piercing hole is. Put a stamen in, so it does that, and I'm going to fold that one in, so it's exactly what I did earlier. Hopefully you can see this, might be able to see this one a bit better. Tiny bit of glue at the bottom, and then push that across, and then get your tweezers and pull that across as well, and then you just leave that to dry. So I'm going to hold up my fingers for a few seconds. So if you're doing a bunch of these, you'll probably get to this point and leave them all to dry, and then go back to the beginning and start with this, and then you do need to wait till it dries a bit better, and then you just pull that back gently until you're happy with the shape. And then that is your white Calla Lily. Okay, and then your leaves, you can do two ways on your leaves. So you've got your leaf shapes here. I'll use the two bigger ones, and I'm going to take them out from the strip. So you can either, so what I'll do then is use my poker tool, and I'll just put a line down the middle of both of them. Right, this one I'm going to stretch out. Okay, so you've got your line down the middle, and then what I'm going to do is get my piece of wire, put some glue on it, and just place that on my glue like that. So when that's dry, which doesn't take too long, okay, so just take the excess off. Okay, so I'll leave that to dry for a sec while I deal with the other one, and then you'll see the difference. So you can do either. So you can have the leaf on their own by putting the wire on, and you can just squeeze in it, oops, at the base. So that means that you've got the wire, and then you can bend it to shape. Okay, so or you can put it onto the stem of the flower. So you've got that shape there. So then I would bend that so you've got a leaf so it's at 90 degrees, and then I will just glue it to my flower at the base there. Okay, then the secret is to put the glue on, leave it until it's dry before you mess around with it. Because once it goes on, because it's quite fragile and it will come off quite easily. So if you just put it on until it sticks, oops, make sure it sticks. Okay, so I'll just show like that. Okay, I won't leave it like that when it's dry. So what I do now is just put it in a foam thing. I'll leave that to dry before I do anything else with it. Okay, and then this leaf, and you can have that over there, and then you can put them together in part of a bunch. Okay, so anyway, so that's how you make your calla leaf.